I am.
I am.
I am.
I am.
I am.
I am. I am.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this very special episode of We Are DownStream Outdoors. Today on this episode of We Are DownStream Outdoors, I have the pleasure of having Brady and Maria Dennis with us. They've been a pretty regular staple here on the show, and they've done all kinds of stuff for us here on the show. So we're going to get in. We're going to try to learn a little bit more about you guys. Obviously, you guys have vastly different backgrounds whenever it comes to this stuff. Okay, so we got a dog dying over here, but it's okay.
It's not the first time we've heard that in a video.
Fair enough. All right, we're going to start off with you, Maria. You have done geocaching with us. You've done, I believe, mushrooms with us.
Yes.
And we've done candling eggs. So you've done a lot of different stuff with us. When do you... Sorry, I stumbled over my words. What are some of your earliest memories of enjoying things, of being like the outdoors and stuff like that? Because I know you're really enjoying learning this stuff right now. What are some of your early memories of the outdoors?
I remember going up to Riggle Scout Hunting Club and what I would always call pond hopping. I would look for tadpoles and newts and just muck around in the water up there trying to find whatever I could, as long as it wasn't a snake.
Fair enough. And your father, he was a bit of an outdoorsman, wasn't he? He enjoyed his guns. Obviously, we haven't really showed him much, but he liked to shoot his guns. And I've seen pictures of him fishing. So obviously, that's something that you were around growing up. It wasn't just because you lived in the city. It wasn't. It was a part of your life, I assume.
Yes, very much so.
Okay, now Brady, you had a little bit more of a rural upbringing yourself. You were actually born here in the area called the Cove around Martinsburg, and you have done things like maple syrup tapping with us, and you've built a little alcohol stove, and what else have you done with us? I'm trying to think. Or is that it?
I think it's about it.
The geocaching.
I'm the guy who's in the background.
Yeah, fair enough. Brady's oftentimes in the background going, this is what you need to do to fix the show. But ultimately, you do yourself have a passion for the outdoors. What are some of your earliest memories of the outdoors?
I grew up in the woods. There was woods behind my grandma's house, and from the time that I would get off the school bus, I was gone. I was in the woods running around, and as a kid, building up leather on my feet. I was always barefoot in the woods. My grandma drove her crazy. I was up in the woods. My pap, they came. My pap was from like the Akron area. They were in the Akron area. They weren't from there, but that just they couldn't understand why I was up in the woods and stuff. And I always just liked the feeling, being barefoot. I don't know. It's a weird
feeling.
Memory, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Obviously, we talked about Maria's father being an early influence on her getting into the outdoors. Do you have anybody that was an early influence for you that really kind of led the way and was like, here, this is how you do things like this?
I was involved in my Boy Scout troop, and actually I read the book Hatchet in school, and it was about the same time that I was in Boy Scouts. It started to give me a bit of a drive, and I had forgotten about that for a long time, the book Hatchet, until we started into some of our bushcrafting, and you and I started talking about it, and it's like, I reread the book. Actually, I listened to the audible.
I did the same thing. I've listened to it twice now.
Yeah.
I've actually done the whole series. If anybody's familiar with the book, it's called The Hatchet by Gary Paulson. It was an award-winning book. It was very good. There's actually a whole series that most people don't know about. Most people only know about The Hatchet, but it's like a 5-book series, and I've been through both audiobooks twice myself recently, on all 5 of the audiobooks twice recently, and it was brought up because we talked about it. Obviously, you said you read it at a young age, and I read it at a young age, and it's something that it's great for people of really all ages. What about that type of book and that lifestyle was really the drawing factor?
Yeah, like, I don't know. I think there's been a trend in our pop culture that a lot of people are trying this bushcrafting and trying to get outdoors and learn these lost arts, and they're all going about it looking at Pinterest and, you know, making moss bath mats.
Hey, now, come on. That was for Aaron.
I wasn't even going to call you out on it.
Put the
You could have
blame
just,
on me.
just rolled with that.
Hey, they generally just blame the ginger here, so I'll blame it on somebody else for the change.
The one off camera.
Yeah. Now,
But I do. I enjoy getting out and making things, and with all the maple syrup videos over. But you know, I enjoyed learning my trees, and I was actually told by some old timers that there's male maple trees, there's female maple trees, and you'll learn which tree produces better in the afternoon, which tree produces better. And you know, I literally hug my maple trees every year. You know, when you're wrapping the bands around them to hold the buckets, you know, you're literally hugging a tree, and you learn a lot about it, and it just started driving a passion. And I started watching more things on YouTube. I'm a very avid YouTuber, and I started watching more things and just started to gain the passion to want to be outdoors. And you know, then we got offered this house in the middle of the mountain, and it's like right up my alley. Now I see what I've been building for, you know.
Now, obviously, you guys haven't always been what we would call modern day homesteaders, which is basically what you're trying to achieve now. You guys are working towards vegetable gardens and, you know, livestock and things of that sort. What is it about that type of lifestyle that really draws you guys in? And I'm looking for an answer from both of you guys. Brady's been doing a lot of the talking right now.
He usually does.
Now, I'm going to put this out here. Is this one of them things you could really care less, and he wants to do it, so you're doing it because he wants to do it? I see a lot of women do that.
No, I mean, I enjoy the canning and the gardening, but I do work full time, so it's hard to do all that. But I enjoy it.
Yeah,
For him too.
I don't think it would be for me. I mean, she is the one who taught me to fish.
Oh, okay.
I went out in the woods and Boy Scouts, and we'd go out trout fishing and basically just drowning worms. I did catch a trout at Canoe Creek on a wad of bubble gum, you know, but it was like obviously farm trout.
Yeah.
But she taught me, and her dad taught me a lot, fishing and being outdoors.
So the outdoors, yes, that's always been me, but the homesteading is more him. But the animals are mine.
Fair enough.
She's the one who wanted to get into beekeeping and stuff and chickens long before we thought about homesteading. I mean, I don't know, she was just trying to irritate the neighbors. Did a pretty good job of that, but
We've talked about this privately. You have an overactive mind, which is not a bad thing at all. Is the homesteading a way to fill your overactive mind in a fashion that you enjoy?
yeah, it's simple.
It's simple, it's easy, and it's beneficial to the family.
Yeah, it's my gram canned all the time. Like she was working in her garden all summer, and then, you know, come fall she was canning everything that she had. I enjoyed spending a lot of time with her, learning some. I wish I would learn more, because I had no idea that it was ever going to be something that was relevant to me. And it's one of those things, like, once this information's gone, it's gone. Like,
We did learn her pickled egg recipe.
yeah, we got her pickled egg recipe, but
Now, we've talked about this privately before. My mom cans everything and anything. It amazes people the stuff my mother cans, and we've talked about you guys would like to learn from her and, you know, stuff like that. And if there is any interest, we could probably do some videos with my mom on learning how to can different things. I mean, she cans cakes and breads and meats and vegetables and fruits, and just, if you can can it, my mom can can it. And she's been doing it for years, so she'd be a good one to learn from. So if there is any interest in any of that, I'd love to hear some feedback from people that watch these videos and stuff on whether or not there is any interest in learning how to can.
Pressure canning.
Pressure canning, yes. Yeah, the most difficult form of canning.
Yes.
Yes.
'Cause I could do the hot water bath, but I can't pressure can them. little nervous.
Fair enough. It is one of them things. If you don't know what you're doing, you could potentially hurt yourself and.
Some botulism.
Botulism, yes. Yeah, not many people talk about botulism. So, what is... Well, no, we're not going to go to the future yet. We're going to stick with the present. Okay. Obviously, like Maria, with you, we've done like candling and things like that. Is there anything that we don't know about you that you really enjoy right now? Because we've seen you with the geocaching and the animals and the mushrooms, and these are all things I know you really enjoy.
Some of it is more of indoor things. I love to do what they call resin art and making canvas come alive with different kinds of resin and different pigments and colorations, and making coasters and tables and woodworking. I don't know if we've ever done
We've never done a woodworking video with you, and Brady's actually told me before that whenever it comes to turning on the lathe, Maria's better with turning on the lathe than what he is. She spent way more time with a wood lathe than what he has. But no, that's something we'd love to get into at some point, is maybe some woodworking videos and learning some different things that we could make to use in the outdoors.
You could make a duck call.
A duck call, that would be wonderful. Or maybe we could plan somewhere and make a predator call. That would be neat to make some predator calls for some of our predator videos.
We could resin cast it.
There you go.
Wood, so you can use minimal amounts of wood, and it can be unique wood. It'll be fun.
Which would also weatherproof it.
Yeah, fair enough. And fun thing a lot of people don't know yet about the Dennis is you guys are actually very technology driven.
Yes.
You guys already have 3D printers, and
Laser cutter sitting right here.
Yeah, there's a laser etcher setting in the corner, and I look behind where you can't see, and there's a computer set up with 3 monitors, and just 3 monitors for that computer. Obviously, the technology end is the thing that it's tough to incorporate what you do, Brady, which is, you recycle computers for a living and rebuild computers and work on electronics. If I ever have an electronics issue, it comes over to Brady. I might not see it for 6 months or a year, but I'll get it back eventually.
I found your gimbal the other day.
Oh, hey!
I forgot all about it.
It was right over here in the cupboard.
Yeah, I didn't look in that cupboard for a while. That's why all the fishing videos are bouncing all around.
Yeah, well, can't have everything perfect. So ultimately, where do you guys see yourself going from here?
I just take one day at a time.
Well, with the maple syrup, we were getting close to going into a full business. So we were talking about, we had to get licensed for a commercial kitchen. Mm-hmm. So in the garage that we just built, there's going to be a shed roof out over that we're going to put an outdoor kitchen in that's going to be a commercially certified kitchen that we will be able to produce anything that we want. In fact, as long as we get, I got to look at the hoops that we have to jump through for it to, if you wanted to have your mom come up and do a canning video, but actually to make sellable goods out of it, that would be a possibility in the future. We'd like to have a greenhouse. This summer sometime I'd like to do a greenhouse. I'd like to start into microgreens. It's something that is bigger in larger areas of gourmet cooking, and it's something that our area doesn't have.
Isn't that a bit of an oxymoron? Microgreens are bigger in larger areas.
Yeah.
I plan on starting in March. I'm going to hatch out some more chickens, guineas, turkeys, hopefully, and maybe some quail, and I would love to get my hands on a peacock.
I'm sure you would. You really love your birds, apparently. What is it about the birds that hatching out the birds and stuff like that?
It drives me crazy.
I think it's nice to have them when they're that young. Of course, the guineas that we hatched, we did hatch out 11 13 or 11.
Tasty guineas.
Yes, they were. And
We've-
unfortunately, one decided to commit birdicide.
Suicide right
Yeah.
into the corner of the garage is what you said.
So we cooked him up the one evening. That was pretty good.
That was over a campfire. That was with some wild chanterelles that was picked on the way in, and a little bit of butter, a little bit of salt. Yeah, they were real good.
That's very good. But I just enjoy.
Holy cow, look at that guy on television now.
I just enjoy getting them when
That's
they're
a big
little
ginger.
and seeing them
Mature.
mature. Unfortunately, the guineas that we did raise, they ran away.
Well, we offered them to the neighbor the day we got the eggs. We said, at the end of the season, we'll bring them down. You guys can butcher them up or do whatever you want. And that's where the birds went. So
Yeah.
you're going to have to excuse me. My lights are going to time out, and now it's just going to be the white lights. So I need to get up and turn the lights back on.
This is technology at its finest, folks. He had to put in extra switches and make his lights do things like dim automatically whenever there's not enough motion in the room. Hey, I can see again.
Wow, we fixed that.
It might be brighter than what it was before.
I think
Think it
I
might
forgot to turn the brightness up on them.
Probably blinding people with my whiteness
I
right
was
now.
going to say, I'm washed out too. It's okay.
So obviously you've talked you want to put in a commercial kitchen, start producing products here, and but you have a problem though. You don't have maple trees on here.
No, there's no maple trees. I was going to say that. I forgot when the lights were dimming. But yeah, there's no maple trees.
They're just little ones.
There's nothing
So
tappable.
ultimately, we've talked about it. We're going to do some select harvest and stuff like that to try to encourage the sugar maple development here. But you do have something else that maybe we're going to
Yep.
try. You have birch trees on your property.
Yep, we have birch, and Paul keeps telling me that we're going to tap the birch trees. And I said, well, that's fine. So
I tell you, I was talking to Lindsay about this the other day when we did our big group chat. Have you ever heard of sycamores being able to be tapped?
Mhm.
They supposedly produce a butterscotch flavored syrup.
there's a bottle of it out in the garage. I just brought it up from my garage. It's Dennis Farms, no relation. Dennis Farms shagbark.
Hickory.
Oh, hickory.
No, the sycamore.
I said sycamore.
Sycamore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah,
we have a church.
I just completely
You completely went off in left field.
spaced out.
He said sycamore. Wait, I'm talking about hickory.
Yeah. I don't know my trees real well.
Fair enough. No, hickory was another one I was going to talk about, and actually walnut. You can actually there's a massive list of trees that you can tap that most people don't realize you can actually tap.
Now, a birch tree, you can actually tap it, or do you just get the bark?
I believe you actually tap it.
Because I know the kids have been taking the bark.
The intercambium layer.
Yeah.
That's something
Chewing on it.
I've done that since I was a kid. Up where I'm originally from, we had a lot of young birch trees up there, and we had the nice sweet birch up there, the golden birch, and you just take the little twigs and chew it off, and you get that wintergreen birchy flavor, and it's basically from the intercambium layer. I actually recently watched a video about these people from down south. They took and they cut down the whole birch tree. It was a good-sized birch tree, and they stripped the bark off in big, long sheets. And then they sat there and they scraped the intercambium layer off into big bowls and mixed a little bit of sugar with it. And they would sit down, families of them, eating this inner bark. And they said how delicious it was. And they would actually take some home and freeze it and try to eat it throughout the years like a candy.
Were they
like
rotting the trees down a hill?
Yes, that's right. After they got the bark off, they were using
Yeah.
them because them birch trees are so slick. They were trying to ride the logs down the side of the hill. Yes.
I did see that video.
That was like a what's that Sunday morning program that is on CBS? It's been around forever. There's a Sunday morning program. It's like in 60 minutes, but Sunday morning.
I'm rarely up in the morning.
The joys of not having a real job, huh?
Yeah.
But
9 o'clock, that's my morning now. It used to be like noon or 2 o'clock before I'd roll out of bed. Now it's like 9 o'clock. I'm actually up and out. That's one thing about living up here and starting this homestead thing. At least 9 o'clock, Except the rooster keeps waking me up in the morning. I laid the shotgun out the window. I couldn't get a clear shot on it the other morning, though.
So we've gone out and kicked the rooster awake. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, when we were
The
building the
kids and I-
garage.
Well, the kids and I have to go to school.
Yeah. Must be nice to sleep in till 9 o'clock in the morning. Oh my. So ultimately, with that time, you're going to have a lot more time for projects. So we're going to see a lot more videos from both of you, even though you work full time, Maria.
Yeah.
What's some ideas for videos that you have coming up that we haven't done with you that you know you could teach us?
Got me. I don't know.
You're completely unprepared for that question. It's
I
like, oh
was.
crap.
I want to do the pressure canning, but I want that with your mom.
Fair enough. You would go in as a student role almost. Yes.
Yeah.
But no, Mom will be a good person to learn that from. And Brady, we've talked about, well, obviously, if we're going to do some sort of birch syrup video, if we're going to do birch syrup, we're going to obviously do a video. Yeah, what other ideas do you have for videos coming up here soon?
Oh, I don't know. I honestly, like, this year's just been
Crazy since you bought the house.
draining, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Till we get things set up here. I mean, there's going to be some great things coming. I would like to get into some homesteading videos. We had started a Dennis Homestead YouTube channel that we really didn't have time to do anything with, and I know that you've been tagging all the videos with us, with Dennis Homestead, hoping when we get famous we'll bring you with us.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, there's probably going to be with us anyway, we're going to be hopefully doing work with the homestead. I'd like to definitely do some videos with your mom, whether it's on my channel or yours or jointly or.
Right on. Well, I'm going to finish tonight with a fun little story.
Fishing.
Fishing?
I'm going to take you out and show you how to fish one of these days.
Yeah, I bet you are.
We'll go bass fishing. That is Sandy and Lola.
Two cats that are very happy with each other right now.
They hate each other.
Okay, but we're going to finish this episode with a fun little story. The story of how we met.
Oh.
So I'm driving down the road. I drive down this same road all the time because it goes past. It's a direct connecting road from my home to my parents' home. So I drive past her, and for several years, I see all these maple trees in this guy's little yard, tapped, big maple trees. And I kept saying to myself, that's neat. Well, that's neat. Well, then I started DownStream Outdoors, and I said to myself the first year, I said, I'm going to get there, and I'm going to talk to that guy. Second year come around, hey, that guy's out there tapping maple syrup. I'm pulling the hell in. And I did. I just pulled in. And the first person I actually met was you, Maria. Believe it or not, you were outside.
Oh.
Yeah, she
You
said,
completely-
Brady, there's some bearded guy out here, like, looking at stuff. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And for once, Brady didn't meet me with a baseball bat or a shotgun in his hand. You just come out and met me, and we talked. And I said to you, hey, I have this video series on YouTube, and I love doing videos about the outdoors. Can I do a video about you guys? And you agreed, so I ran back to my house and grabbed Aaron and grabbed all our camera gear, and we come back and we shot a video about maple syrup, and we sat and we talked, and and we actually became pretty good friends through that weird off-chance coincidence. I just pull in your driveway
Yeah.
without getting shot.
Brady gave us the maple syrup cayenne pepper lemonade that he tried to kill me with.
Yes. He gave Aaron the bottom of the batch, which had all the cayenne pepper in it. And then she tried to get me to drink it. She's like, I don't really like this. It's too much. Here, drink it. Oh, yeah.
And then I tried it. And I was like, wow, that really went stronger tonight. Yeah, that definitely might have sat on the burner a little long.
Oh, my. What do you guys have any funny memories from when we first met like that? I'm sure it was a weird thing for you guys, the way it all went down.
Yeah, he just called me and he said, do you want to do a video? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, he's going to get his equipment. I'm like, I don't do those kind of videos, dude. He's like, no, about the maple syrup. Oh, okay. So we did a little research. Of course, you always have to do research. But now, if you decided to come to our house unannounced, yes, you would get with a shotgun.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. Don't
No.
you lie.
Well, anyone else will.
That's only because I see your vehicle before it even comes near my house.
Although I will admit, I come up here in a strange car one day, not this long ago, that they didn't recognize, and they weren't home yet. They followed me up the driveway at a high rate of speed, and then blocked me in until I got out of the car and go. They went, "Oh, it's just you."
That's up here on the mountain.
That's one of the joys of living off by yourself. You know, you kind of control who's coming up your driveway.
Yep.
Especially in the wintertime. If you don't want anybody coming up, you just don't plow it.
Yep.
Because nobody's getting in if you don't plow it.
Yeah.
But, all right. Well, any closing thoughts from either of you two?
Not really. Just looking forward to the future and seeing where this ride takes us.
Yep. All right. Deep thoughts from the Dennises tonight.
I'd rather be behind the camera.
Yes.
I'll interrupt you before you do your outro.
Fair enough. Brady is behind the camera a lot, but it's fun to be in front of the camera once in a while.
No, I haven't made eye contact with him more than like 3 or 4 times.
You just made eye contact as you were saying
I
that.
keep looking below it. I look at the tripod. And the cat's running around.
All right, we're
Can
going
I
to go.
interrupt you again?
Yes, we're going. Good night, everybody.